Welcome to Inside Gator Nation, and this is the Goodyear Cotton Bowl preview. This year featuring Oklahoma and Florida, the Big 12 champs. Oklahoma coming off a win over Iowa State last weekend. Should be a doozy, a great offensive battle. This will be Wednesday, December 30th at 8 p.m. on ESPN. This is a Florida team that has 3 losses by a combined 12 points. Dan Mullen has said his players are off through Christmas. It's kind of a unique year. Turning around straight from the SEC title game. Normally you have a big break before the bowl game. Now there's only 10 or 11 days to prep and get ready. So not much prep time, especially if Florida has given their players off through Christmas. But I think that is well deserved. It's been a long conference-only schedule and a tough year for these guys. Got to give them credit for not opting out. A ton of players opting out like most teams are doing. However, Kyle Pitts will not be in attendance. He is choosing to prepare for the NFL draft, and Dan Mullen says to expect 1 or 2 more. So maybe even 3 guys, my opinion. That could be Grimes, it could be Toney, and maybe even Tedarrell Slaton, who is a projected first-round draft pick at the D tackle position. So he's letting them announce it on their own. So we're not sure. I'm putting this video out about a week before the game, so we're not sure who those guys are just yet, and we might not even know until it's kickoff time. That's just how Florida tends to do things. This is only the second meeting for these two teams, the last one being in 2008, where Florida was national champions in a 24-14 victory over the Sooners. Let's see, in other opt-out news, cornerback Trey Brown for the Sooners is opting out. He was the hero of the last 3 Big 12 title games. Also, Oklahoma has their backup quarterbacks entered the transfer portal. Tanner Mordecai transfers to SMU, where he will be the projected starter there. Also, Florida has a couple guys. Linebacker Josiah Pierre, sad to see him leave. I thought that he was in line to get a much bigger role next season. He did play in some games this year, but apparently he was not happy in the projection of his playing time. Also, Chester Kimbrough, another guy I thought was going to get a lot of playing time next year, especially with Marco performing so badly this season. It wasn't just 1 or 2 games for Marco. He had a really rough year, and he is at risk of losing his job. So we'll see how that plays out. Florida is absolutely loaded at in the defensive backfield. This is an interesting matchup. We got freshman phenom Spencer Rattler manning the quarterback position for the Sooners. He's had a pretty great year, but this kind of plays into Florida's hands. The only reason why Grantham still has a job at Florida is because he does very well playing young, inexperienced freshmen. He shows a lot of different exotic blitzes and a lot of schemes that he uses to confuse these guys. So expect Grantham to be bringing a lot of pressure on Spencer. This is a kid that can also run the ball some. And Florida does struggle with dual threats, so it's a very interesting matchup. I expect there to be a lot of points scored on both sides of the ball. The college football team talent rankings has these two teams very close in talent. Florida has 4 5-stars on the roster, 44 4-stars, and 34 3-stars. Oklahoma with 5 5-stars, 45 4-stars, and 33 stars. So very similar roster when it comes to talent, and that means a lot. Both the coaches are great coaches. So it's kind of even in both those categories. In coaching, it's even, and the talent on the roster, it's pretty even. This is a doozy of a matchup. Let's look at some stats. Both teams average about 42 points a game, so explosive offense, maybe different styles. Florida does nothing but pass the football. Our run game has been non-existent the past few games, and our offensive line, especially the right side of that offensive line, has gotten worse as the year has gone on. I thought it started out pretty well. We were rushing the ball when we wanted to. We weren't a rushing football team, but we were capable. We still averaged 4 yards an attempt. Oklahoma not much better at 4.1. They do have about 300 yards more rushing throughout the season. 1,800 for Oklahoma, 15 for Florida. Florida has 11 rushing touchdowns. Oklahoma has, that's where the difference is. They scored a lot more rushing touchdowns than Florida has. We average about $120 on the ground a game. They are a little ways ahead of us at $154 into the passing, where Florida has thrown for 7 picks on the year. That's not all Trask. I believe Emory Jones has a pick or two. Oklahoma with 8. We average 9.98 per attempt. They are not far behind at 9.54. However, we have 45 passing TDs compared to their 27, so almost twice as many. So it kind of balances out. We're definitely a better passing team. They're definitely the better rushing team. We average 388 through the air. Oklahoma averages 321, so not bad at all. Just not quite up to Florida's passing, but yet Florida passes pretty much every play, so that's to be expected. It's really going to come down to how each defense is going to scheme and match up with the opponent. That's what's going to win the game. Florida's defense seems to be getting better each week. They took baby steps all year long, but last week we did a lot of good things against Alabama. We had the chance to get off the field on 3rd down about 4 times and force Alabama to punt. However, discipline is huge for this Florida team. We don't have any. We jumped off sides or we had a personal foul. There was numerous just stupid bonehead plays that gave Alabama a second chance, and they ended up scoring on just about all of those. So if you take away the bonehead penalties, this defense actually looks pretty good last week, and Florida gets that W. So we have to eliminate stupid penalties. Defensively, this Oklahoma defense is much improved from what they are used to being. Alex Grinch has them playing at a high level and could be a candidate for a head coaching job, if not this year, next year. Let's see, they rank 20th in the nation in total defense, so they have a better defense than Florida does. They are 11th in rushing defense and 29th in scoring defense. The only question mark on that defense, they are 60th in passing D, which kind of plays into Florida's hands a little bit, and that's why I'm giving Florida the edge in this game. Florida's defense, however, ranks 62nd in total defense. That's no surprise to anybody. James Houston added a little fuel to the fire for Oklahoma this week. He said, in quote, Oklahoma is a good matchup, but they are not on our level, and they are not the SEC. And Florida, this is typical of Florida players. We like to run our mouths for whatever the reason. Florida underperformed this year, and we're not in the bowl we want to be in. So we got to hope these guys show up to play. This is not the bowl game they wanted, like I said. So why add fuel to the fire? Oklahoma, this is their Super Bowl, kind of like how LSU defeated us in their Super Bowl. Oklahoma gets a chance to play Florida and a Heisman runner-up, and they don't need any extra fuel to the fire. This is a huge matchup for them, and they are going to show up ready. So, James Houston, if you're going to add fuel to the fire like that, please show up and play. Hopefully the rest of the team does as well. Like I said, we're going to be without maybe 3 guys due to opt-outs. Mullen, on the defensive note, sticking to defense, Mullen says Todd Grantham will coach this game. So, to me, that kind of sounds like it could go both ways. Obviously, he's going to coach this game, but it kind of sounds like he's going to coach this game, but then we're going to look for a new defensive coordinator. Not entirely sure. I feel like he would have worded that a little bit different if Todd Grantham didn't have to worry about his job security. So that'll be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks. The BetMGM has the spread. Florida is favored by 3. The over-under is 71.5. I want to say Florida does cover the spread this game, and I also would pick the over in the over-under if you were going to bet on this game. Let's check out Rex's pick of the week, and then I'll tell you what I think. Hey!
Rex.
Of course you did.
I just...
Rex is 2-2 on his picks so far on the season, and I myself also have 2 losses. I predicted early in the year that we were going to beat Texas A&M, and I did not see the LSU game playing out the way it did. However, this game, I have to say, is going to be another offensive shootout. I got Florida winning 40-32. I think if we're missing a couple key guys on offense, we're going to score slightly under our average. But I do think Florida pulls out the dub. Just want to say happy holidays to you guys, and thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you at the post-game show Wednesday evening. Thanks, Go Gators. If you liked today's video, please remember to hit the like button down below, share, and subscribe for all the latest Gator news all year long. From recruiting to matchup previews, post-game highlights, and much more.